helmets to be distributed to motorcyclists free of cost. On the international scene, Israeli forces say they have recovered the body of one of the hostages from Gaza. While in sports, Manchester City could be crowned champions if they beat West Ham on the final day of the English Premier League season tomorrow. The details after this. The youth representative on the Constitutional Reform Committee, Sonjay Boswell, is calling on the nation's political leaders to take the necessary steps to ensure that Jamaica becomes a republic. He was speaking on Friday on Nationwide at 5. According to Mr. Boswell, based on a recently conducted survey, an overwhelming majority of the country's youth population is in support of Jamaica becoming a republic.
We would have done a survey in partnership with U-Report, and from that survey we surveyed over 400 young people, and that survey would have indicated that 71% of those who participated support Jamaica becoming a republic. 15% said that they were unsure, and 13% said that they were not in favor. So coming from that, it is a clear indication to us, and even from our constituent groups, that there is a level of support for us becoming a republic.
The constitutional reform process is now at a stalemate. This follows a declaration by opposition leader Mark Golding that the PNP will not support the push to become a republic unless there is a simultaneous declaration of an accession to the Caribbean Court of Justice (CCJ) as Jamaica's final appellate court. According to Mr. Boswell, while there is general consensus about replacing the British monarch as Jamaica's head of state, based on the survey, there is division among the youth population as to whether the Privy Council should remain Jamaica's final court of appeal.
Now, when we engage on the other matters as it pertains to the final court, we're seeing a greater level of dissonance. And what is emerging more so is that a lot of persons lack clarity and understanding on the matter of the final court. So we have persons who believe that we should accede to the CCJ, and we also have views that say we should remain at the Privy Council as our final court. So having seen what is taking place in the news, and I'm a member of the CRC, we thought it was appropriate to register our voices officially to state the position that we want to become a republic and that we want to see the process through.
Sonjay Boswell, youth representative on the Constitutional Reform Committee. A letter has been written by the country's leading youth groups urging the Prime Minister Andrew Holness and opposition leader Mark Golding to resume talks aimed at continuing the constitutional reform process. It was signed by representatives of the National Youth Council, the University of Technology Students Union, the Jamaica Prefects Association, Jamaica Youth Ambassador Corps, the Youth Advisory Council, the National Secondary Students Council, Aspirar Jamaica, and the Jamaica Union of Tertiary Students. Meanwhile, Jamaica's youth ambassador Odain Brooks wants the country's political leaders to proceed on the areas of agreement so that decisive steps can be taken to reform the constitution. He was speaking Friday on Nationwide at 5. According to Mr. Brooks, the matters of contention would have to be effectively addressed, but where there is consensus, the reform agenda should not be stalled.
If the political leaders cannot agree on the best approach forward, let us bring it to the people. The people ultimately will be the ones to accept what the fate is. And so I believe that we should not delay the entire process because we cannot agree on one element. Where there is consensus, let us proceed on that. And then we can take it to the people if they through a referendum.
Odain Brooks, Jamaica's youth ambassador. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is again urging Jamaicans to beware of rampant misinformation regarding the programs and priorities of the administration.
The NHT's current housing program includes 7 developments with 4,108 housing solutions in St. Elizabeth over the next few years. And for the record, let me read it out because there is so much misinformation about what the government is doing or not doing. That the average person who spends an hour or so on social media or is listening to the radio while driving or may get a chance to scan the headline, the information that you receive is largely incomplete, some of it totally inaccurate, and a large section of the information, certainly in terms of where it comes from, is designed to mislead and create a false narrative.
Addressing the National Housing Trust's handing over ceremony for Friendship Oaks in St. Elizabeth on Friday, Holness maintained that regardless of information to the contrary, his administration is ensuring the housing demand is met.
Your government is working tirelessly to ensure that we have housing for our citizens, regardless of all the other false narratives that you're hearing. These are the facts. This is what we're doing. And what we are doing here has never been done before. It is, in my mind, transformational for Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The 6 teenage boys from a high school in St. Elizabeth who were in police custody in connection with a housebreaking incident in the parish are now on bail. The boys were arrested on Thursday evening during a targeted police operation in the Malvern area. They are said to be from a prominent high school in the parish. The police say the ages of the boys range from 13 to 16. Speaking with the media on Friday, head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, Superintendent Coleridge Minto, says 8 televisions were recovered at the premises where the raid was conducted. He gave an update today on the proceedings.
The boys in question were charged for housebreaking and larceny. They were granted bail in the sum of $200,000 each, and they were released in the care of their legal guardians.
Superintendent Coleridge Minto, head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division. The government has procured 2,000 helmets for distribution to motorcyclists free of cost. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the disclosure at a meeting of the National Road Safety Council NRSC on Thursday.
Some of the things that creates a safe system for traffic would be, for example, if all our riders wore helmets. The truth of the matter is, Jamaica does not have a riding culture that involves the wearing of helmets. In my budget presentation the year before, I had announced that the government will sponsor 10,000 helmets to give free of cost to riders. We have now procured 2,000 helmets through the Ministry of National Security, and those will be made available to the National Road Safety Council for distribution island-wide, and that will continue over the next few years until we have a helmet for every rider.
According to the Island Traffic Authority, motorcyclists account for the majority of road fatalities across the island. The authority says 32% of the 161 people killed in road crashes since the start of the year were motorcyclists. Prime Minister Holness says the distribution will mean motorcyclists have no excuse to engage in unsafe driving.
There would be no reason, no excuse for not wearing a helmet. Helmets save lives. And I think that needs to be reinforced. It's not fashionable, it's not cute, it's not hip, it's not cool not to ride without your helmet. In fact, I would go as far as to say it is stupid to ride without your helmet.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. As Jamaica approaches the start of the 2024 hurricane season, Acting Director General for the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, Richard Thompson, has underscored the importance of Community Emergency Response Teams, CERT. Mr. Thompson notes that most Jamaicans will be inclined to seek help from a neighbor in the event of a disaster, and this, he says, highlights the importance of Community Emergency Response Teams. He was addressing the United Nations Development Programme UNDP Disaster Risk Resilience Knowledge Exchange on Friday, May 17 at the UNDP's Lady Musgrave Road offices in Kingston. Mr. Thompson explained that it is essential for communities to be empowered to respond to themselves within the first 24 hours of a disaster. He said a lot of work has been done in recent times to ensure that the community mechanism is strong enough where there are community response teams and they have a full appreciation of the population that they have to deal with. This population, he declared, includes persons with disabilities, the elderly, and single mother homes. CERT supports the work of disaster preparedness and response agencies in reducing personal injuries, property loss and damage, and the interruption of business operations due to disasters, while enhancing recovery capacity. News now on the international scene. Israeli forces have recovered the body of one of the hostages from Gaza, the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, has said. The Army confirmed that Ron Benjamin, 53, was found alongside the bodies of 3 other hostages whose identities were confirmed on Friday. The 53-year-old had been taken apart in a group cycle ride near the Gaza border when the Hamas attack began on the 7th of October. About 1,200 people were killed during the unprecedented attack when Hamas gunmen burst into Israel. They took 252 others back to Gaza as hostages. Israeli military spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said in a statement posted on X that military intelligence found he was killed on the 7th of October. The military said Benjamin was killed at the Melfasim intersection and his body was abducted to Gaza by Hamas militants. Let's now turn to sports because Manchester City know they'll be crowned champions if they beat West Ham on the final day of the English Premier League season tomorrow. After the Citizens' 2-0 win over Tottenham in midweek, Pep Guardiola's side are on the cusp of a 4th consecutive Premier League trophy. So it doesn't matter what happens in Arsenal's final game against Everton. Meanwhile, the Hammers will want to send David Moyes off in the best way possible by getting a result at Etihad. This will be the Scotsman's last match as West Ham boss, with his contract set to expire at the end of the campaign. What a match that will be. And now to recap the top stories making nationwide at 5. Youth representative on the Constitutional Reform Committee, Sonjay Boswell, wants the nation's leaders to take the necessary steps to ensure that Jamaica becomes a republic. Teenage boys from a high school in St. Elizabeth who were in police custody in connection with a housebreaking incident released on bail. 2,000 helmets to be distributed to motorcyclists free of cost. I'm Andrew Cannon. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 9 tomorrow morning, but stay tuned because Alric Swaby and Wayne Walker, they're waiting in the wings. Sports Nation Live.
My name is Dwayne Peart. I work at the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. I'm the acting program analyst. I'm in charge of the ministry's network. Before GovNet, we solely rely on the third-party vendor for all the services that we use. Knowing that the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development has a secure network that is owned by the government has improved our confidence on how data is transmitted over the network.
GovNet is a secure wide area network infrastructure that links ministries, government departments and agencies. Phase 1 of GovNet has been implemented by the Transformation Implementation Unit in collaboration with other technology partners. To learn more, visit publicsectortransformation.gov.jm.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
Winning by daylight and setting a world record, 9.68. The win is okay.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, KFC. It's finger-licking good across all locations island-wide.
High-low pre-anniversary promotion.
I feel we pre-anniversary, but it's all about you. All about you. High-low food stores, we've got more in store for you.
11 winners,
we're gonna make their day.
11 winners,
taking home 40K.
That's right. Spend $4,000 or more on any 4 items, 2 of which must be high-low branded items for your chance to win a $40,000 shopping spree. It's that simple. Check out our social media pages or see the press for details. High-low, celebrating 40 years of serving you.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Labor Day sale at H&L Rapid True Value, May 10 to 26. Save big on farm ply, tiles, bathroom combos and fixtures, paint and accessories, tools and selected building supplies, and more. Hurry while stocks last. Conditions apply. Start right. Start here. H&L Rapid True Value.
I've been hearing about this constitutional reform thing. You know anything about it?
Yes, constitutional reform is a chance for us to Jamaicanize the constitution.
But how?
Enough things changed since 1962 and we have matured as a nation. So modernizing the constitution will reflect our current societal values.
Oh, a constitution for Jamaicans, approved by Jamaicans.
Are you ready for the journey? Join us on the road to Republic. Think independence, think Republic. A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
High-low pre-anniversary promotion.
I feel we pre-anniversary, but it's all about you. All about you. High-low food stores, we've got more in store for you.
11 winners.
We're gonna make their day.
11 winners.
Taking home 40K.
That's right. Spend $4,000 or more on any 4 items, 2 of which must be high-low branded items for your chance to win a $40,000 shopping spree. It's that simple. Check out our social media pages or see the press for details. High-low, celebrating 40 years of serving you.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, May 18, 2024. Now, if you bowl it, we'll hit it for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pool, we'll dive in. And as fast as the starters gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alex Ribble. This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM, and remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we'll be ending today's show at 7 p.m. for the live coverage of the Women's Center Charity Ball at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel with Pepita. Now, coming up, we have another packed and exciting show lineup for you. We'll be talking track and field, tennis, football, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Now, in our feature, you just had to be there. We relive Dion Hemmings winning the Jamaica's first Olympic gold in the women's 400 meters hurdles final at the 1996 Summer Games.
Germany drawn on the inside. Paris of Jamaica in 2. Rieger of Germany in 3. Buford Bailey of the United States in 4. Dion Hemmings of Jamaica in 5. Kim Batten of the United States in 6. Edie of Canada in 7. Talier of Romania in lane 8. Well, the 3 principals off well. Right on the outside, Talier has gone off very quickly. Batten going well. And Dion Hemmings is now running down Batten. And this is a good start by Hemmings. Must have got so much confidence. She's really hurdling well at the moment, and Hemmings is leading. Buford inside her, chasing her down, but Hemmings has gone past Batten, the world champion, and she's leading now at the moment as the rest falter just a little. And Hemmings looks good at the moment. Buford and Batten, the big 3. Buford coming through at the moment. Hemmings from Buford and Batten. It's going to be so tight, and the world champion's coming back on Hemmings now, and Buford on the inside. They're absolutely neck and neck, and Hemmings, is she strong enough to take this Olympic title? Batten on the near side, she's stuttered in. Hemmings and Batten, and these 3, and Hemmings is going to do it. Hemmings wins it, she's the champion. Batten the silver medalist, Buford Bailey the bronze, 52.82, a personal best, a new Olympic record. She's always promised it, but this year she could hurdle. And this year she proved she had the strength. Bronze medalist last time, gold medalist this time. Dion Hemmings is the Olympic champion. Oh, that was a brilliant piece of hurdling. Batten came back at her, but she didn't falter. She didn't lose that calm, and she attacked, and she got the reward she truly deserved. Just outside the world record, but it's a new Olympic record. 7th in the last Olympic final. Now she is the champion.
There is absolutely no doubt that somebody has improved this lady's hurdling technique. She's always been a climber rather than a hurdler. Now she's smooth, and what's more, she's good enough now to hold her form together over the tiring last 3 hurdles. She's not climbing them, she's hurdling them.
And the other statistic, she is the first Jamaican woman ever to win an Olympic title. Brilliant.
Let's watch her here. I mean, sprinting speed's never been in doubt, but there's such an improvement, and she's broken the Olympic record now 2 races in succession. The new Olympic record, her winning time in the final, 52.82.
Jamaica's first ever.
Okay, so that was our feature. You just had to be there, where we relive Dion Hemmings winning Jamaica's first Olympic gold in the women's 400 meters hurdles final at the 1996 Summer Games. With that, we take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
For all your prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs and dermatological preparations, confidential consultations, toys, gifts, stationery and personal care items, visit Adanis Pharmacy. 10% off prescription drugs for seniors. Open Monday to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located at 111 Constant Spring Road. Contact them at adanisrx@gmail.com. or WhatsApp your prescription to 876-883-7415. Adanis Pharmacy, providing quality care to you.
Good health starts with proper hydration. Hydrate your body with Hydrate. Hydrate is purified natural water from rocks 110 feet below the ground. You have never tasted water so great, yet so affordable. Yes, taste and experience it for yourself. Water at its best. Hydrate. Available also as purified alkaline water and ultra-purified distilled water. Bottled by LLNSCS Limited, a subsidiary of Max Pharmaceuticals. Call 876-983-6466.
You better stop, drop, and listen up.
For all your fire loss prevention and industrial safety needs, go to National Safety Limited. They design, install, supply, and service fire alarm and suppression systems and fire extinguishers.
They also sell PPEs, that's personal protective equipment to keep you safe on the job. Plus, they're your source for Timberland safety shoes.
Visit their website at nationalsafety.com.jm and follow them on social at National Safety Limited to find out more.
National Safety Limited. Your safety is our concern.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swaby, working out with Sean Ferguson on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. We know John Wayne Walker at the Bounty Invitational Tennis Classic in Ocho Rios. Wayne, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Alric, and you're correct. We're right here in Ocho Rios. And of course, we're covering the Bounty Invitational Tennis Classic. If you remember, Alric, we were here last year and we spoke to a number of individuals. The tournament actually started yesterday, and today, of course, is the second day. A number of the island's top players are here. In fact, we're going to be seeing Blaise Bicknell, I think, for the second time today. I think he played before here. I think today we're going to be seeing him a little later on. And Randy Nelson, I'm almost certain, I got a glance. Randy Phillips, where did I get Nelson from? Phillips, I got a glance at him a short time ago. But let me tell you, Simon Casserly is the tournament director, and he has all the information for us in terms of who's going to be playing next, how things have gone so far. In fact, they're using two venues over at the Copperstone Suit. There was actually watched a class 3 today. In fact, I'm coming from over there about 20 or so minutes ago, but I'm here also at the Couples Tower aisle, just across from the hotel, and this is the main staging, if you like, because here's where the big players are going to be strutting their stuff later in the afternoon into the evening, and of course also tomorrow as well, which is the final day of the championship. So Simon Cassidy has joined me. Simon, good afternoon once again, and welcome back to the microphones of Nationwide 90 FM. You're live on Nation Sports Nation Live.
Thanks, Wayne. It's a pleasure.
Good. All right, so you sort of give me a roundup of what happened so far. Well, yesterday, if you could, and today.
Well, as you say, this year our stocks have really soared because we have undisputably Jamaica's two finest players, Blaise Bicknell and Randy Phillips, in the men's open draw. As you know, Blaise is now in the top 300 in the world. For him to be participating in an event like this just shows that he really cares about the development of tennis in Jamaica. We're honored to have him playing in the tournament. Mm-hmm. As we speak, Randy Phillips is on court playing against Davian Burrell from Montego Bay, who is Montego Bay's best player. And that's an interesting quarterfinal, but we think that Davian may be a little out of his depth against Randy. We looking forward to see Blaise coming up. That's going to be the final match of the evening. He's going up against Adam Harris from Kingston, and that will be bringing the curtain down.
What time that game is scheduled to go off?
It's scheduled at 6 p.m., but we're running a little late. We're probably going to start at 6:30 because we're running just behind on court 1. In the ladies' event, we have Maureen Williams from Vanderbilt. She's a semi-finalist, and she's going to be playing against Kemi Richardson from Montego Bay. In the other half of the draw, some matches aren't decided yet. Daniel Silvero, who is the number 1 seed, is on court as we speak, playing Kimloy Sheraton Wint. And in the other semi-finals, we have Helena Parkinson from Chandy James. That's an all-mobile final. So you can see we have players from across the island participating in the class, in the Open, in the Class 2, in the Class 3, which is being played at San Souci. We have a lot of players from Ochi that had a full draw 16. All of the amateur draws this year were full 16 draws. Last year, we limited the amateur contest to 12 entries, but because of the huge interest that we had this year, we had to increase the amateurs from 12 to 16 and the Open from 16 to 24. And this is an invitational tournament, so really we're inviting the best of the best. But the responses this year have been overwhelming, because the players all said yes. For sure. So we had to increase the size of the draws. Luckily, the lights at Couples Tower Isle have been improved, which allowed us to get through 15 matches yesterday, which put us in a position to get through the schedule comfortably.
Mm-hmm. This is only the second staging of this event, Simon, but it does seem, based on not just the number of entries, but the quality of the entries. When I was told that Blaise is going to be here, I was saying to myself, wow, you've drawn the big one. And these days you only see if Davis Cup has been played. I mean, no disrespect to the other tournaments around the country. But what's the draw here, though? Why so many big names?
Well, I'll tell you something. I think it's because of the camaraderie. It's because it really is a national event with all of the players from around the island participating. We're a little bit lucky because Blaise was actually here to play in the ITF Futures in Kingston. Mm-hmm. So his early departure was a blessing to us because it made him available. When he called and he said, when the tournament referee called and said to me, Blaise Bicknell is available, I would like to know if he's invited. I was like, well, the draw had already been done, but I was like, listen, we have to redo the draw because we can't have a player like that available and not have him in the tournament.
For sure. You don't want to push yourself too hard and too quickly as well. But with Blaise and Randy, easily the two best players we've got in the country and arguably two of the best in the region as well.
Well, Blaise is
number 1 in the region.
He's in the top 300 in the world, and we expect him to be in the top 100 soon. So, I mean, we expect, yes.
Yeah. Is it a planned idea, any of the organizers, to sort of push for regional participation, given the strength and the quality of what we have here today?
Well, I'll tell you something. This tournament has always been perceived as a national event, and we haven't invited any overseas players, but it's definitely something to think about. I don't know that we want to do that because it's supposed to be just a weekend event. It's not a week-long event. So we want to keep it tight. We want to keep just the best players, and we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I like the format the way it is now because a lot of people look forward to this. It's eagerly anticipated, and I don't see us going regional right now. Right. I like what we have here.
Right. So the prize, tell us about the prizes. People are listening and they say, wow, Blaise and Randy and some of the best in the country are here.
Well, I'll tell you something. Blaise Bicknell playing in this tournament is not for the money. But the winner of the men's open gets $120,000. The runner gets $60,000. The semi-finalist $30,000, and the quarterfinalist $15,000 each. But in the amateur contest, each of the winners gets a weekend for two, at a couples resort, which is a very attractive price. The finalists get a gift certificate from Fontana Pharmacy. And we also have 2 doubles events. We have the men's amateur doubles, where the winners, all of the finalists get a day pass at a couples resort. And in the mixed doubles, the finalists get a Choco Caribbean Adventure gift certificate. So it's nice prices. And we have very nice gift packages from the title sponsor, Bounty, which all of the players look forward to. Bounty has been a terrific sponsor. And couples, great venue for an event. Both couples, Tower Island, couples Sanssouci, are lovely tennis venues. And it's an honor to be working with people like Pierre Battaglia, Charmian Bailey, Jody Hyatt, and David Sanguinetti, who comprise the tournament committee. And I tell you, I really like working with these people because they're great people.
How many times you guys would have met leading into the championship? Because even though you've got good quality and you've got the strength in terms of number of participants, it can't be easy to put together.
It isn't. But, we've been emailing a lot. There's been a lot of emails going back and forth, and we've agreed on certain things, and the communication has always been open. These are people who are easy to work with, and they're flexible. So it's really great working with them, And like I say, it's a great venue. Everybody looks forward to it, and I think it works for everyone because I know that the development of tennis in Otrius is very important to Pierre Battaglia, and I think that this event definitely contributes to that. It's good to see players from Otrius featuring, that the finalists last year, David Goldsmith and Damian Johnson, were both from Otrius. We know Goldsmith has already advanced to the semifinals, and I think Goldsmith will be playing the winner of this match between Randy Phillips and Davian Borrell. I don't want to make any predictions there because I don't want anybody to say that I'm biased. But Randy is expected to advance based on his level of tennis and his past experience. Like I say, he's Jamaica's winningest Davis Cup player.
But you preempted the question because you did mention about the development of tennis in Otrius, Clinton and Otrius by Pierre Battaglia. He spoke to me about it a number of times and his desire to have an actual tennis center sort of out at Draxall side thereabouts. So we've been talking about it. But what about the possibility? Is this tournament exclusive to here? What about the possibility of moving it maybe for Bay 1 year, in the Grail another year, or having it twice per year, 1 year and one at different venues?
Well, that couples Otrius, these are such good tennis venues that it would be hard to give up this venue. And I do other tournaments at other locations, but for me, and I know a lot of the players, I think this is my favorite tournament.
Yes.
It has a vibe, a very different vibe.
Yes. All right, one last question. Maybe it's not for you, but as a tennis aficionado and official and now a tournament organizer, I was at Ligoni last week. Lockett put on this amateur championship, and the quality of the tennis was really, really good. And we've seen other tournaments around the country, up and down the country. We've seen the team played against Barbados in the Davis Cup the other day. Give me your view, Simon, on where you think Jamaica is at right now in tennis. Do you think we're poised right now?
Well, I'll tell you something. Amateur tennis is doing very well. There's been a lot of amateur tennis players, especially the ladies amateur tennis has developed. Before, when you used to have a ladies amateur draw, you might have 4. You've been lucky to have 6 players. We have a full 16 draw in this event. And when you go to, and the quality of the play has improved significantly. In Montego Bay, we have a very active female tennis ladder. What I'm concerned about was the development of the junior tennis. We have a few juniors coming through, but these are juniors who are well-sponsored. And that, for me, is a little worrying. I think we need to be broadening the pool of talent, because if you're not reaching the inner city kids, you're not going to be making serious inroads. And we don't want to limit it. I'd like to see the pool widen as far as junior tennis is concerned. And I'm glad that the president of Tennis Jamaica, John Azar, spoke to that recently in an interview where he said he's trying to remove the impediments. Because we have to make tennis available to everybody.
He was speaking actually at a press conference in Kingston last week, so they took excerpts on it. It was there, and he did mention it.
Because historically, our best, I don't want to say anything controversial, but our best tennis players have never, some of them have been the children of the wealthy, but some of them have been children from very humble beginnings. So we need to make the tennis available to everybody. Because it doesn't matter where you're coming from, it's where you're going.
Because you wouldn't have necessarily had Noel Rutherford and Errol Campbell.
Exactly. I didn't want to call any names.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, exactly. It's not where you're coming from. It's not a shame. Right. In fact, it says more for you if you're coming from humble beginnings and you can achieve. I mean, Noel Rutherford is a perfect example. Definitely one of Jamaica's.
Do you remember that game against Michael Fernford in Kingston when he really came to life in a big way? You don't remember those big games?
Well, unfortunately, I never saw that one.
Wow. You made me look old, but it was a seminal moment in Jamaica's tennis. Michael Fernford, I think, was in the top 10 in the world at the time, and he came to Jamaica to play this game against Noel Rutherford, and Rutherford beat him in Kingston, and it made news for weeks. It was huge news in Jamaica because Fernford was another 10 in the world. Jamaica could never have produced a player to beat a top 10 in the world in, I suppose, one of the most competitive periods in tennis at the time, because it was the Pete and the Andres and the Jimmy Connors and Martina was on his way out and so on.
We produced Dustin Brown, who beat Rafael Nadal twice.
There you go. Well, Simon, I love the look. I love the turnout. I was over a couple of times to see the Class 3 tournament, and just like last year, I'm impressed. And I hope you guys continue to have the sort of success that you've had, and all the best leading up to tomorrow's final.
Thank you, Ian. It's a pleasure to serve, and I like putting on an event that's well received, and it has been well received by the sponsors. We have new sponsors on board this year, like Edge Campaigns, Sagicor Bank, Caldwell Bank, a reality, and it's good to have new people coming on board just because they were here last year either as participants or as spectators, and they said, listen, we want to be on board, and that has allowed us to do things like increase the sponsorship, increase the amount of officials that we have. Because if you notice, all of the matches on court are being monitored by an official. That's important to me because, I'm an ITF white badge official. So for me, I always look at the officiating aspect of things because it's important that we have fair play and that the code of conduct is observed. And at the end of the day, we can have a good weekend where we build friendships through tennis.
Again, Simon, thanks so much.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah. All right, Alex, so there you have it from Simon Casserly. He's the tournament director here at the Bounty International Tennis Classic. The turnout is not bad, and as he mentioned, a number of the island's top players are here to strut their stuff. So it is really a good look. And it's important and also interesting that we keep tennis in the spotlight, because last week we were up at Ligany where Lockett McGregor had his tournament as well, and it seems as if tennis is coming back, and to have people like Blaze and Randy here playing is testimony to that as well.
Okay, then, Wayne, we'll touch back with you later on to get further update.
Yes, well, we're getting out early today, right?
Right. Okay, so that was Wayne Walker at the Bounty Invitational Tennis Classic in Ocho Rios. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this break.
Straight from the rock so it flows. Enjoy life letting go. Feel the breeze, mountain reach, water clean, nature green. Everything's good with Catherine Speed. Rain or sun is shining, Mother Nature's blessings. Nature green. Everything's good with Catherine Speed.
Step into a world of floral captivity at the Flower Show 2024, presented by the Manchester Horticultural Society. Embrace nature's beauty and the finest greenery at the Flower Show on May 23, 2024, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Ward Avenue, Mandeville. Expect prizes, surprises, and demonstrations. Admission $800 and children under 12 free. Discover the latest trends in flora and beautify your space. The Flower Show 2024. Be there. Sponsored by Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica.
Come into the parlor. There's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come on, let's go back in time.
This magic moment
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alric Swaby, working with Sean Ferguson on the other side of the glass, my technical operator / production assistant. We'll be talking some netball now, as in a repeat of last year's final, defending champions Upsetters A and Jamaica will meet in the final of the Supreme Ventures Netball Major League at the Stadium Courts on Sunday. Upsetters advanced after a 45-39 win over Tivoli on a Thursday night. Meanwhile, Jamaica booked their place with a narrow 49-48 win against Rockers. Coach of Upsetters, Nadia Hansen, says indiscipline caused the game to be so close.
We got careless in the attack, so hence every time we pull away, they tend to come back. But unfortunately, we knew the game was going to be hard, no doubt about that. So we just want to be grateful that we get the victory and we'll be here playing the final game on Sunday.
Nadia Hansen, coach of Jamaica Winston Nevers, says his team were a little indisciplined in centre court.
Our centre court never delivered the ball as we're supposed to deliver it. And as a matter of fact, you can see it because of fatigue setting, a little ups and down there. But because of the experience that the Jamaica team have, I think they tried to keep possession of the ball and make quite a few mistakes sometimes. But overall, it was a good performance and a good team. I know this team was going to give August a good run because of the first game that we played in the preliminary round. So for us to win the semi-final, it's a good gesture.
Winston Nevers. Meanwhile, Maxfield B beat Spec B 28-25 and Queen's Park B edged Hagley Park 37-36 in the Supreme Ventures Minor League semi-finals, and Global B beat Westchester 39-22 while Molynes A stopped Raven 30-23 in the Marathon Insurance Brokers Intermediate Division A semi-finals. In the Division B semi-finals, Ocherius Magics got the better of Cumberland 35-25 and Spec A defeated Friendship 42-37. Now we're joined online by coach of Jamaica, Winston Nevers. We're hoping to connect with the coach of Upsetters A, Nadia Hansen. But let's start with Coach Nevers. Coach Nevers, good afternoon and welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, and thanks for having me, Alric.
It's my pleasure. Let me again say congratulations on the victory on Thursday night. A hard-fought victory, I must say. I thoroughly enjoyed that semi-final against with yourself and Rockers. But before we go into the final, just share with us your thoughts on how you viewed the game, how your team played as well as your opponents.
Okay, it was a good game, as I said. Very, very good game, interesting. And I believe that both teams played well. Both teams, they made their mistake. Jamaica and Rockers, they made quite a few mistakes, but nevertheless, you can say Jamaica prevailed because of the experience and all those things. You understand? So definitely, I personally look at it and say, well done, ladies. We have over the bump for a number of years now. We continue to do that, and I did expect the win, but I didn't expect it to be so close. Because it was really close, because they brought the game to us. So we just stood there and tried to weather the storm, and it happened.
Right. Like I said, you were expecting the win, but it was close. They must have surprised you. Watching the game, the first two quarters, Jamaica were cruising a bit until the third quarter when things turned around and they would have reeled in Jamaica, and then in the fourth quarter they would have passed you. Tell me what went wrong. Was it complacency that set in? What went wrong?
The third quarter, I think they came back in the game in the third quarter because we were leading by at least 8-9 somewhere there. And the third quarter they really run They run right through the court. They played well. And I think the wing attack and Giselle Hollis, not the goal attack, they played well. Our goal defense, I don't think had marked Giselle as she should, because Giselle was all over the court. She played the ball in the midcourt. She went for the center pass. She came back. She came in the circle, and she did what she had to do in the circle by shooting them. And you know Giselle, whenever time Giselle is on fire, she's on fire. Whenever time she's off, she's off. So the third quarter, I think there is where we lose it, because when it reached to the fourth quarter, we definitely have to play catch up now. Although we were leading by at least 3 goals in the third quarter, we still have to play catch up, because all of those goals that we have before, they just went away. You understand? So my stand now that you have to make sure so you keep your concentration level whenever time the fatigue step in. Remember, the last part of the game is the hardest part of the game, and so you just maintain that standard by passing the ball. Make sure so you keep possession of the ball, proper decision, and all those. We did not do that consistently.
When Rockers made that run in the third quarter into the fourth quarter, what did you do or say to your players? Did you make a change that would have curtailed this run of the Rockers, or did you give them some instruction? What did you do to curtail the advance of the Rockers?
Yes, I tried to do a little changes. I did not do enough changes in the third quarter, but I already made a plan that I'm going to bring on. There's a young lady by the name of Tanisha Bernard. Bring her in the last quarter, but I, as a coach, I can't blame myself for that, because I did not bring her in as early as I should, and I planned it, and it did not. I don't know why I didn't bring her in 5 or 6 minutes before. When it reached to the last quarter, about 4 or 5 minutes in the last quarter, they were leading us by about 3 goals or 4 somewhere there. Then I made a change now, and that change with Tanisha coming fresh and start to play the ball around in the attacking area and draw the counter. So I think that change was a beautiful change. It latest. Some people, some of my friends say that the change that you made, Nevers, was wonderful, magnificent, beautiful, because Rockers didn't have no time to adjust to it and to come back. But I feel that I made the change really, because I did plan it that way, and I didn't know why I didn't make it. Yes, but when you win, is the right thing you do. When you lose, you did most of the wrong thing. Right. So the last quarter, I think it was ding-dong battle, and they take it over, and then we take it back over right on the hedge. When about 2 or 3 minutes left to go, we take the lead and just maintain it.
In football, they have a term with a super sub, where a player would come in exactly. and change the course of the game. Is that how you would describe Tanisha?
Yes. Beautiful player. I don't think Tanisha is a long-distance player. I think Tanisha, over the years I've been watching her, and when I look, I say, this is the game plan that I'm going to really put out there. So Tanisha is a player that can change the game for you in split second. But as I said before, I repeat myself, as I said before, about 5 to 6 minutes late in the game, and they almost take it. But it was the right decision at the end to keep her and bring her in 5 or 6 minutes. So if I didn't give her about 10 minutes, I think we would win the game more. They wouldn't have that time to really take the game and go and get the lead.
Right. And you mentioned Giselle earlier. I was watching her. I mean, I am not an expert as it relates to netball, but from what I saw, I would have given her the MVP of that game. How would you describe her talent?
I tell you, in Jamaica we have some talent here, and I've been saying it over and over. We have some beautiful talent here. It's just for us to just look at it, because when you look at Australia, New Zealand, and all those places, that is taking our player, England, that is taking our player and bring them over there to play. Although our mid-court, they don't take our mid-court because I think our mid-court is short, but the defensive area, which is Sterling and all those guys, and our shooting area, all of them gone over field to play. Giselle is one of them that I've been looking at from a number of years. Of course, Giselle, maybe not a year or two. Yes, and when I was coaching the national squad at Hawks, for them to give me Giselle, but then something went wrong and they suspended her. I did not get her to coach in the national program. And so Giselle is one of them I've been calling. Even now, I still want Giselle to be in the national squad because Giselle can play wing attack, Giselle can play goal shoot, she can play good. And she would boost up that mid-court here because I think in our national squad, the mid-court is a bit too short. And so we have to make a lot of passes and our decision and concentration break down a lot of time. And that's why we don't reach the number one position as it. But Giselle is one of my players, I think. There's another player, I think, that is playing well from Tivoli. She's Abigail Linton. And I think Amanda played for, I'll come out of UWI playing for the Upsetters team as well. And I think those players playing really well. And I would really want them to get a bus, so to speak, a bus in Australia. So, yes, so I'm looking at those players. Giselle just take the game away from us. And our defensive era, I don't think, was marking Giselle how they supposed. They allowed Giselle to go, take the ball, come back inside the circle, and still get that ball inside the circle and score it.
I must agree with you. Giselle was an excellent player. I found myself cheering for the Rockers just because of Giselle's performance, believe you me.
Because of Giselle.
Right.
When I tell you, as a coach on the Jamaica team, when we finished and I was talking to my players, they hug, they pray, and then come off the court. I went over to Giselle's bench and I go and hug her because I just love her. I love her, and she almost take the game away from me.
And I don't know if it was the captain of the Rockers. She played in the defensive third. I don't remember if it was goal defense or what, but it was in the defense. She seemed more like a captain. She was the one that was right and encouraging the players. Her name slipped me now. She almost have a similar build to Giselle.
I don't know if it's Kwanya or she name.
I'm not remembering her name, but she was very impressive as well. But let's look ahead to the finals. This is a repeat of last year, yourself and Upsetters A. Tell me, going into these finals, are you treating it like a revenge match?
No, I don't like to take revenge. I don't like to take revenge because I did that with my daughter. Couple when she was 13 years old, and I changed. I don't like it, and I tell myself that whenever time anything happens and I be the loser, and going back to do the same thing in another year or two, then I will treat it different. So I'm gonna treat this match different, and we're not gonna treat this match as a revenge. I'm just gonna treat it as another match because why? Because Jamal has been there so many times. So it's kind of natural to me to reach to the final and to win the final or lose the final. So when I am planning my coaching session, the other day we planned a coaching session where everybody sit down and we talk. Hardly we train. We just sit down and talk and do some set play. And I said to those young ladies that the experience that we have, I think that our squad is a little bit slow, and I think the Upsetters team has a little more depth. But I'm going there to win. I'm going there to win. And remember, if we still don't do the right thing, we're not going to win. But you must have the intention to win. But for us to win, we have to play well to win because that team is very, very good all around.
Speaking of winning, there must be some areas that you need to improve on after the semifinals on Thursday night. What are some of those areas that you would have been working on to ensure that you don't make the same mistake that you would have made in the semifinals that caused the game to end in a 1 point?
Definitely, this team, they beat us last year in the final, and they one time in the prelim round this year they beat us again. So they have two upon us. So I look at it and I see some things that I need to fix, and I see some weak area in there in their team as well. And I listened to the discussion from them, and they know the players that are very strong on our team, and they try to cut them out of the game or take them out of the game. Well, we're going to try and do the same thing because we know the players that is strong, we know the players that is running in the midcourt, we know the player that is feeding the circle, and so we have to try and just cut it down a bit. We cannot cut down all, but we have to try and cut down a bit. So our intention tomorrow is just plan. I already have my plan. I'm going to go into the game. Cannot say it at this time, but I already have my plan, and I'm just going to go there to fight and to try to win the game because the upsetters team is coming there to win as well. You understand? That's what we people go into a final to do, to win the game. So it doesn't matter. You say this team is good. Why you play this team? Because you want to win. So every single team that went into a final, they try to win it.
Like I said, you have your plans going in as to how to be triumphant. But tell me, without giving away too much, what you think would be key if Jamalco is to come out on top?
Shooting and distribute to the person who has been distributing the ball to the circle. We have to make sure we concentrate for a long period. This is one of the areas that we work on all the time, and most times we have some area that I love to work on. Their concentration, their decision making, their coordination, their awareness. Those are some of the areas that I like to work on because when you're catching a ball, you can see a pass before you even take the ball in your hand. That means that is awareness. And when you get the ball in your hand, you have to make proper decision to pass that ball. Keep concentration, and the concentration that you keep will help you to deliver the ball where you're supposed to deliver it. So those are some of the areas that I try to work on. But definitely our passing inside the circle have to be key, have to be number one. Our shooting have to be on target because there's no way you can lead by after you lead by 9 goals or 8 goals a day. Fighting to win the game by 1 or 2 a day. That means your concentration level cut, your fatigue stepping in the last part of the game, and we all train and know that last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes of the game is going to be the tough part of the game. So our shooter have to deliver and our midcourt have to deliver because there is where we continue to break down. So I continue to do some work there.
After a grueling semi-finals with Rockers, any injury concern going into this final?
No, we have no injury. We're quite all right going into the final. No injury, so we're going to find no excuse to say, this person is injured and that. We have an injury with Nicole Aikins Pinnock. Is from a long time now, and we've been playing without her. I think it's the first or second match we're playing in the tournament, and she injured. We're going to miss her, yes, definitely, because she's a top player. She's a national coach. She understands. She has that long experience in playing netball for Jamaica, for Jamalco, and all those things. So if we talk about it now, next year for it would make no sense because we plan our way out, and definitely we're going to say, yes. We not even remember that she injured, but she just continues to send things in the group and cheer her up and say, guys, go out and do well. So those are the things that we she's still helping us off the court, indirectly,
Right.
So it's not injuries gonna make we lose our win. We have to play the game because we have quality players that can play the game and win the game for us.
I know netball is a team sport, but when you look at this upsetter team, is there an individual player or two that you are saying to your players, be careful of them, you can't allow them to dictate the game in any way?
Yes, they have 3 players that are really rich, One used to play for the Jamaica netball team. From she's going to school, I've been coaching her. But she on another occasion now. She played the center, the winger. This is Paula Thompson, one of the best players I ever see play for Jamaica. And you have Hadeen Thomas now that is playing so well. She's the present national center now. So she playing the game really fast. They're taking the ball from in the defensive area and link it to the attacking area inside. Then you have this young lady from, I think her name is Spencer or something like that shoot. Sabrina Sabrina Spence. Yes. She shoot inside the circle, and she's a tower of strength. She's really good, and she's been carrying them from a number of years now because I watch her. Before they start to play here in Jamaica, they used to play as a team overseas, and I've been watching them from overseas. So Sabrina Spence is going to give us trouble tomorrow. I think Paula Thompson and Hadeen Thomas, they are the three players that we are looking at to really cut down their movements or cut down the shooting or whatever. So, you have players on the court that maybe they played, and when they played, you don't see them right, but they played and do things behind the scene. But those players are really on top all the while.
Right. You mentioned your super sub Tanisha, but who are some of your standout players throughout this season? Who are some of the players that you have to give a round of applause to?
I think there's a player that I really admire now, and that is playing so well, coming out from the school league in Mani Teachers College now, Shania Martin, and she's playing really well. She's shooting well, and as long as she gets that ball inside the circle, she's going to shoot it. Then the veteran Nadia Brown played wing attack, and the wing attack position is very, very vital because she's the one who lead our team. She's the one who dictate the pace. She's the one who take the ball inside the circle, put the ball wherever it's supposed to go. And there's our fresh national player now, which is Crystal Plummer. She's playing really well. She run through the court for her. Just like how Adin Thomas would run through the court, run through from defense straight into attack. That's how Crystal Plummer been running now. She's really doing well. And there's another young lady that is playing out of Mani College. Yes. And you have the defense, which is Vangelie Williams. Vangelie Williams is a veteran, and we're looking up to those players to really keep us in the game, and at the end, if it is possible, then we can end up the winners. But those are some of the players that I'm looking for.
Right, let's move away a bit from the finals and just look at the overall planning and execution of this, the Supreme Ventures Major League. Tell me your thoughts on the overall planning and execution so far.
Well, I think the planning this year not bad enough because when you look at, I think it's about 70 teams that enter the competition because last year and the year before, we did not play the year before, and last year we played because it was so close to the COVID and nobody was, they did not know what was going on at that time and was kind of scared. Yes, so we did not play. But the planning of the competition this year with the committee, Benji, you have Chris Smart and all those guys, they really put the competition together. And it really looked good. The whole entire, from the B team straight up to the A, you have major league and you have minor league and you have junior league and all those things. They really separate themselves, and the competition itself, they're really good because you have teams like Mullines, you have teams like Speg down the bottom there that is playing in their league. And, they really play to their standard, so to speak. They play to their standard because they are in their own league. And when you look at it, it's really competitive, just like the major league, just like a Jamal Carr, etc. So the overall competition, what I really impressed with this year, and now I must say I travel all over the world and I look at umpiring in the other countries and the Caribbean countries, and I think I would say another 20 of our umpires, I think they are the best in the world because I kind of have faith umpires like that. So I'm looking at the overall package now. The overall package is that our team, our umpire that umpire the league, they are really doing well. And the standard of umpiring, they have a young lady by the name of Tracy Griffiths, wonderful. Terrence Spirit, wonderful. They are some of the best umpires in the world. And I just wanted to continue on. You understand? Into next year, I am expecting better things because I know teams is going to improve more. I know people is going to get school because the school league is doing so well now. The Easter League, which you're talking about the urban and you're talking about the country area. People's gonna go out and look netballers to fill their to fill gap or to fill the position that is weak. So I know it's gonna be bigger and better next year.
Right. And you would have been in and around netball here in Jamaica and across the region for some time now. When you look at what you're seeing in the league now, who are some of the teams that would have caught your eyes that you said would have performed above your expectations?
I think the teams like, as I said, I think like Mullines, because I look at Mullines last year. They didn't really look the part that like or they look this year. I look at Spegs. Spegs been doing really well. Spegs just come out and they start to play. They start to play and they play right through. I ref a match with Speg, and when I look at Speg, you can see that Speg have complete defense. You can see that Speg have a mid-court and they have a shooting here. Ligani as well, they played well. And if you talk about the senior league with Tivoli is a season campaigner. And you have Rockers and Hopsetter that's come in as two new teams. So Tivoli continue to play well. They are the teams that bring out the top national players and all those things. So we look at them and say, yes, we have talent in the country, because when you look at a team, then you can say 1, 2, or 3 players in a team that you would say select them for the national team. So we're doing well in Jamaica. The teams them is doing well. Overall, I can say netball is going places. We just need people to help to support it. Supporting means we would need a little bit more sponsor to run competition. What I'm disappointed with now, Alex, I need the teams from, not teams, but association from in the country area. When we talk about country area, we're talking about Clarendon, we're talking about Manchester, St. Elizabeth, St. Anne, St. James, go right back round to Portland, and all those, Trelawney and all those places, St. Thomas, to really get some things together to help the national program by putting even a 5 or a 6 team. Just build up association. If you cannot build up association, you just build a little committee and ask a sponsor and try to run some netball right around the country. I think Jamaica is a netball country, a football country, and so we must try and keep it right there.
Right. And speaking of having tournaments around the country, when I was younger, that's a long time ago, mainly the 80s, I'm talking about, there used to be a lot of community netballs. I don't see a lot of that in the communities now. I don't know how strong it is now, but Penwood High School was a venue that had a lot of community netballs being played in the Olympic Garden era. But tell me, is that happening still, or this is a concern for you?
It's a concern for me. I think it cut down a bit, especially after the COVID. Because when you look at the netball competition that run around the country, maybe out of Kingston and St. Andrew, you have maybe Clarendon, and guess what? We have Jamalco and we have Juicy Patty that sponsors our competition from the last 35 years, both of them. And we haven't get any more sponsors. We look sponsor, we write letter, we ask. So I think sponsorship have a lot to do with it. But I think we can do, as association, as a group that can get receptive together, I think we should be at fault, because I don't think people push out enough effort to see if they can get sponsor to really put a 5 or a 6 team together. It don't have to be 20 immediately.
Right.
Yes, it don't have to be 20 immediately. It can be 5, 6, and then you gradually grow. You understand? So when you look at Clarendon, we have some strong club team in Clarendon. When you look at strong club school team in Clarendon, because Clarendon and Manchester joined together, and we try to co-opt them in our association. We try to co-opt them in our netball competition down here, and so that is the reason why Clarendon and Manchester being so strong. Yeah, because of Juicy Patty and Jamalco sponsorship. So we haven't have any from after COVID, but I think next year we get the promise that we're gonna move off from it again. So we are asking people from around the country, we're asking the Hagan people who love the netball from around the country, just get yourself together and plan to start something by January, February next year. We're gonna have it and we're gonna get it.
Is it that maybe the marketing and promotion of netball need to be strengthened, not only at the
grassroots level?
At the grassroots level as well, but not only at the netball level of Netball Jamaica, but at the grassroots level. Like I said, I when I was younger growing up, there was a lot of community netballs being played. So it's possible for it to return to that level. But I'm assuming that the marketing and promotional arm of netball needs to be strengthened.
Definitely, Definitely, I agree 100% because this league, this major league, where so many national players played, and believe me, I hardly hear it on the radio. You understand? I think people like Jenny promote it more than how the association itself promote it, because Jenny would talk about it, Jenny would give a little interview and whatever. So I would really want the Netball Association to really promote it. First time we used to see TBJ have TV, have camera come around, and now it's just final or semi-final. We need netball to be on the TV. We need netball to be on the radio station and promote it. So I agree with you 100%. I think there's a lack of promotion while we kind of stagnant at this time. It need to promote some more. Netball is a big thing in this country. Right. When you look at the football, remember the football, they played. What we would say now, right around the country, you have a team from St. Ann, you have team from Westmoreland, you have team, right? And every Sunday or every evening that match played, you hear it on the radio, you hear the result on the radio. So I think we should have a PR in netball that every single time a match play, you get it together, send it to the radio station, and the radio station have them in the news and send it out in the morning or in the midday. Netball, you need to promote some more. It's true you're talking, and I support you 100%.
Right. Speaking of sponsors, you have two sponsors in the major and minor league as well as the intermediate leagues. I'm sure you'd love to say thanks to them, Supreme Ventures and Marathon Insurance Brokers.
They've been there for a while, yes. Definitely. And as somebody who's been netball for much years now, I really want to thank them and anybody who come forward and all of the sponsors who come forward and sponsor netball, because I don't think they're getting back enough out of netball, and they still continue to sponsor it. So that is the reason why I said promote it some more, give it some more radio play, and let us see if we have other people can jump on board. They need it. We at the association need it. We in the parish need it. So that's the only thing they're getting back, just to hear the name call on the radio. And I really have to say thanks to those sponsors. I really have to say thanks to my sponsor them in Clarendon, which is Juicy Patty and Jamalco. And we just want to say continue the good work that you're doing, and I hope that your business continue to progress over the years.
Okay, finally, let me give you the opportunity to speak to Jamaica to encourage them to come out and watch some exciting finals.
Yes, yes, really. I just want to say Jamaica and all, everybody around, especially the parish that close to Kingston and St. Andrew, please come out tomorrow, because it's going to be a humdinger. From 1:30 you're going to have some playoff, and 3:30 you're going to have all finals straight back until 7:30 tomorrow. Why we didn't play the finals today? Because it was set for today on the official, but because of some other engagement at the stadium, it couldn't be. So I'm asking whole Jamaica to come out and support netball, because you're going to see a humdinger. You have two wonderful matches that is going to play. Not only Jamalco and Upsetter, but you have Tivoli and Rockers that is going to set the pace off in the senior league. And you have teams like Mullines, you have teams like Spegs. Those teams is going to set off in the junior section. And it's going to be a humdinger up a day tomorrow. So please, Jamaica, come out and support netball.
Okay, Coach Nevers, thanks so much, and we wish you and Jamaica all the best.
Thank you very much, my friend.
It's my pleasure. Okay, so that was Coach Winston Nevers, coach of Jamaica netball team. We had invited Coach Nadia Hansen, but we were unable to make contact with her. That's the coach of Upsetters A. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of The Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
The Oasis is brought to you by Solar Tech Jamaica. We use the gift of the sun to power our world.
Get ready for a show like no other. That's right. Every Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m., we're bringing you the Harvest Hour, only on Nationwide 90 FM. Join us as we dive into a soothing religious program created for your mind, body, and soul. The World Harvest Mission Church, creators of the Harvest Hour, is dedicated to making your Sundays God-fearing and saintly. Get a front row seat to moving sermons and affectionate worshiping. That's the Harvest Hour, every Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
The Olympic Games 2024 live from Paris in France, exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaican star shines bright once again.
Live here halfway through the Olympic finals.
This summer, Nationwide 90 FM is coming in hot.
Jamaica to the Blacks!
Nationwide 90 FM will be blazing as we bring you the games of the 33rd Olympiad live from the French capital, Paris. 16 fantastic days of competition in 41 sports.
Noveline Williams-Mills coming, the glory flapping, her arms are waving, and Noveline Williams-Mills coming through for Jamaica's gold.
The station will bring you analysis and live coverage from the opening day of competition, Friday, July 26th to the very last day of action on Sunday, August 11th.
And some parchment! Let's go! Oh, what a run!
Everything and anything Paris Olympic Games 2024 can be heard right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
It is a glittering gold for Sharika Jackson, and how they will celebrate that back in Jamaica.
We'll capture the spirit of athleticism. We'll narrate the Olympic fever, define thrilling moments, and report on the blood, sweat, and tears of the world's greatest athletes. Nationwide 90 FM is going to the Paris Olympic Games, and we're taking you with us. Tune into Nationwide 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 for live updates and commentary. We'll be giving the listeners a front row seat to witness excitement, triumph, and memories.
And I think it was a clean sweep for the Jamaicans.
Stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM 24/7. Experience the Paris Olympic Games 2024 right here on the Revolution in Media Nationwide 90 FM, your Olympic Center. Exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
Good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swaby, working with Sean Ferguson on the other side of the glass, my technical operator / production assistant. Now it's now time for Nationwide Olympic Facts, sponsored by Rainforest Caribbean.
This is Nationwide's Olympic Facts, brought to you by Rainforest Caribbean. Make delicious moments.
Did you know that Jamaica finished 20th on the medals table at the 1948 Olympics? Yes, that's a fact. At the 1948 Olympics in London, Jamaica finished 20th on the medals table out of 59 countries with 1 gold and 2 silver medals.
That was Nationwide's Olympic Facts, brought to you by Rainforest Caribbean. Make delicious moments.
Okay, so that was our Olympic Facts sponsored by Rainforest Caribbean. Now we'll be talking some track and field as over 500 athletes from 21 prep and primary schools turned out for the Junior Sprint Fest that ended at Jamaica College earlier today. Athletes competed in the 50, 60, 100 and 200 meters for all classes. One of the standout We are now joined online by Meet Director Wayne Long. Wayne, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Alec.
How are you doing? I'm not hearing you clearly. I hope. Yes.
I don't know. I'm getting a feedback as well.
I'm hearing you better now. Okay. Wayne, quickly tell me. This meet is this the first edition of this Junior Sprint Fest?
No, this is the second edition. We had it last year, same place, same time. So it's an annual event now.
Okay. Tell me, give me your overview of what you saw there at the meet. I mean, some of our grassroots judo athletes would have been on show in 50, 60, and 100 and 200 meters. What's your impression of the performance of the athletes?
The athletes performed very well. The objective was to give all those athletes who are not really the top performers in their school a chance to run. Because what happened, most of the meets will only allow 2 athletes from each class to participate. So what we have done is to create a meet where all the athletes can come out and participate. So all those bench warmers, all those people who are 4th string and 5th string can come out and participate without sacrificing your star athletes. So although the star athletes were out,
right,
the bench warmers, as we may call them, that's a chance to run as well. And that was our main objective.
Right, and tell me, when you look at the performances, and I know as the meet director you will have been busy with ensuring that the meet came off on time and run smoothly, but was there any standout performance that caught your eyes?
I have not been able to look at the meet results, to be very honest. I was very busy trying to make sure that everything went as it was supposed to, and I'm very grateful that it did. So I'm currently at the Alcomas meet at the stadium. As soon as I get home, I will be able to have a look at what the performances are like.
Right, and tell me, when you after your postmortem, you would have been satisfied with what you would have seen? No, but I mean there must be some room for improvement. What are some of the preliminary things that you can think of that you think could be improved?
There are a few things, few minor things that we could do. We could open the registration later. We could move the beat up a little earlier in the year on the calendar so that more of the athletes can get to participate, and to include some of the primary school students. So that is one thing that we could really improve on. So we could capture not only prep school students, but primary school students as well.
Right. And finally, tell me what were the reception from the athletes and coaches?
The athletes were very pleased. The coaches, it was well received by the coaches because they use it as a time trials for the athletes. So everybody competing on the same stage, you can now say, okay, this is the fastest in my school in this class.
Okay.
So it was very good.
Okay, Wayne. So that was Meet Director Wayne Long. He was the organizer of the Junior Spin Fest, which ended at Jamaica College earlier today. Wayne, congratulations and thanks much.
Thanks, Alric.
Okay, Wayne Long there. Now, one of the standout athletes at the Junior Sprint Fest was Gianna Briscoe of St. Jude's Primary. She ran the fastest time in the girls' 100 meters series and a personal best 15.55 seconds. We caught up with her right after the race. Congratulations on your victory at the meet today. I heard you did well. How you feel about how you performed?
I feel like I did that very well. Like I pushed more harder than before. I feel so happy. I feel just so glad that I got a medal, and yeah.
Not only did you get a medal, but you got the gold medal and you did it in a personal best of 13.55. Did you think you would have run so fast at this meet?
Actually, yeah, cause I always say before a race, I can do all things through Christ. So I feel like I would actually get that time.
After the race, what would your friends and coach said to you?
My coach said that she was very proud of me, and my teammates were very proud of me as well. They were happy that I got the fastest time overall, and my other coaches and stuff were also, and other people were happy for me as well.
You'll be competing at the primary school championships come next week?
Yes, yeah, I will.
Which event you'll be competing in?
I'll be competing in the 100, 200, and 4x1.
And tell me, after doing so well at this meet, you think you can repeat what you would have done today?
Of course. Because as I said before, like I always say, something before I start racing to give me the power that I need to get through everything.
You'll be running the 100, the 200, and the sprint relay. Which of the two events do you prefer, the 100 or the 200?
The 100. Well, I can't really explain, but I just like it overall.
You would have been watching some of Jamaica's senior athletes perform over the years. Which of Jamaica's athletes serve as your role model?
I would say Shelly-Ann Fraser, Shericka Jackson, and Usain Bolt. Like, those three are my main, because I always watch them and see how they start, how they, run and stuff like that.
Is this something you want to continue on into high school and even university and then the national team?
Yes, sir, yes.
Jamaica has several junior teams that compete regionally and internationally. Are you setting your eyes on competing for Jamaica at the junior level, say at the Carifta Games?
Of course, yes, definitely.
What would you love to say to others who would have been a bit scared about competing and having so many persons watching them? What does it mean for you, and what would you tell them to encourage them to try their best?
I would say, always say, a motto or something that keeps you going, and always feel prepared, and don't think about what others are going to do. Like if they're fast or they're slow, just think about yourself and just push through the entire race.
Is there any other sport that you play?
I also do netball and drama.
With netball, drama, and track and field, how do you balance your schoolwork and all the extracurricular activities?
Since track is for 4 days, so track would always come first because I'm the most talented in that. Netball, it's mostly 2 days, and drama, it's not so accurate right now. So yeah.
So you have time to study and keep a good grade?
Yes.
This is your final year at St. Jude's. After you graduate, which school would you love to attend?
I would love to attend Fulmers High.
Is this because Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is a graduate of Fulmers?
Well, yes, and also they have a very good track team, so I think it would help me more.
You know that their coach is Coach Carr. You would have helped Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce when she was at Fulmers Girls. I'm sure you would love to work with him as well.
Yes.
Gianna, thanks much and all the best.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was Gianna Briscoe, one of the standout athletes from St. Jude's Primary, who competed at the Junior Sprint Fest at Jamaica College earlier today. And we go back to Ocho Rios, where we will join Wayne Walker at the Bounty Invitational Tennis Classic. Wayne, good evening.
Good evening to you, Andrew. Well, we're still here at the Coppers Tower Isle, if you like, to call it the courts just across the road from the Coppers Tower Isle at the Bounty Invitational Tennis Classic, still here. Well, we just saw Randy Phillips winning his quarterfinal game. He's now into the semifinal. He defeated Davian Burrell in a straight set. A quick victory for him. Blaze Bicknell, the number one, is also here. At the minute, we're watching him warming up. But we've been joined now by Randy Phillips. Randy, first of all, congratulations on your victory today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I played pretty well.
Right. Tell me about it. I sat here and I watched the game, and I was saying to myself, to see a guy like you playing up close is really a privilege. You hit the ball so well. But I'm sure you wouldn't count this as one of your most impressive wins.
Thank you. Well, start off, I appreciate your kind comments. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily my best match, but it was a lot of just getting used to the grass because it's a different surface. We normally don't play on this surface, so it takes a little adjustment to understand how the ball is bouncing and, you know, what to look for.
Mm-hmm. Well, you happen to be playing in this tournament. You really don't see yourself and Blaze in these tournaments too much.
No, but I had time on the weekend, and, you know, I spoke to Simon. He's a good friend of mine, so definitely saw it as a good opportunity to come and get some matches.
And you're talking about Simon Casserly?
Yes. I believe he's the director?
Yes, he's the tournament director. All right, so you've got a semifinal meeting. You know your semifinal opponent?
I think it's David Goldsmith.
I think.
Yes. He was one of my Davis Cup teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an opportunity to play him in the tournament in Swept Away. This surface is actually great for his game, so it'll be more of a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, so let me talk to you now, Randy. Jamaica played Barbados. I think the last time the national team was in action in Jamaica, down at the Piccadilly. What's next for you? I mean, where are you going next with your career?
Well, my career now is going to be predominantly local. I'm no longer playing international tournaments. I've moved on, if you would say. I'm virtually retired except for the local tournaments. So I won't be playing with the national team this summer when they go to Paraguay. But, you know, I'm always cheering them on and supporting them. And I'm actually working now at an investment company called Ideal Portfolio. So, yeah.
You're going to make some money now?
Trying to, yeah. That's the plan.
But why did you move on from international play, though?
I'm getting up there in age. I'm getting towards the end of my career. I felt that I didn't have necessarily the resources to do what needed to be done in order to make it all the way to the top. And so if I didn't have a clear plan and pathway to do that, I had to, you know, reassess and make some decisions on the future. And so that's what led me to the top 10.
How do you look at your international career?
I love it. I mean, I'm so honored to have represented Jamaica so many times, playing in front of the opportunity to play in front of the fans at home, my family, my friends. Even the moment of getting that win last year against Estonia was special. I'll never forget it. And the opportunity to travel, the opportunity, the people I've met. I've had an amazing career, and it's done a lot of good for me as a person and my life.
When you look back at your international career, you said you're pleased with it. Didn't quite get to it. Easy for players to get to the top generally. Mm-hmm. And if you notice, the people at the top is there for a little while, but it took them so long to get there, so they want to stay there. Is it that you're walking away from tennis outside of these tournaments you're playing locally? Any plans to assist Tennis Jamaica to still, stay in the game to sort of help out in whatever way you can?
So I'm definitely not opposed to helping out. I believe that I and all the players should give back in any way that we can. For the immediate future, not anything concrete, because I'm still trying to settle into my new path and make sure I have time to give to Tennis Jamaica first. But yeah, once I get settled 100%, I'd like to give back, give my time, help out with the youth programs, any programs that they have, see if I can be a presence in building that future.
Well, tell you what, I'm looking at your shirt, and the question I'm going to ask
Have you started praying? Because tomorrow you're hoping that West Ham could do it for us.
I'll be in church in the morning. Everything.
You're late in church. I'm going to come tonight. I'm going to the church tonight. I'm going tonight.
Please, West Ham. I thought when it would be I'll be over the moon.
Well, Mikel Arteta says he's going to fight until the very end tomorrow, and I hope he can do that, and I hope we can take care of business. And I know we're going to take care of business at the Emirates tomorrow.
They just have to do their part. Mikel Arteta's done a great job. They're improving. They're getting better. I love to see it. City's tough, but maybe they shot little nerves. You never know.
Well, my producer and my co-host in studio might now be eating his heart out because Liverpool has fallen out of the contention for so long ago. Well, for the second year running, it is nothing that City did. If they should win tomorrow, it is nothing they did over the last 2 seasons. It's what we didn't do. That is Fulham, Southampton last year, and now Aston Villa. It's nothing that they did. It's what we didn't do.
Yeah.
And while we can look back at a number of matches, that Villa defeat at the Emirates is a killer.
That one hurt. That one hurt a lot. And I know it made Emery very happy. But I think last year was a bit more of mistake on our part versus it's a good Villa team. You have to accept that they're a good team and it was a good win. But since then, we've at least, showed that we're strong and we're there. But the Villa one, it's hurt.
Fulham has done us in.
That's true. Fulham, the December last year is what really hurt us.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
If we don't win the league tomorrow, I can't fault the players. You can't have the most win in the league, concede the fewest goals in the league, score the most goals in the league, have the most away wins in the league, the goalkeeper with the most clean sheets in the league. You deserve the title. What didn't you do?
Yeah, they've done it all. And it's unfortunate that this City team just seems to find a way to do more. But they've really had a good season. And what I love is that they've improved since last season. You can see that they're improving. So,
well, I'm not happy that you moved away from tennis, but I'm happy to have you because now I know we can get a football analyst from somewhere. and Randy, believe me, I'm impressed with your football as well.
Thank you. If you ever need a comment, I'm here.
No, and now I know. Thanks a lot, brother.
Would love to. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're not so happy where you are now because you're not in this tomorrow. It's about 2 teams tomorrow. And I'm really sorry about that. But that was Randy Phillips. He won his quarterfinal and he's into the semifinals, and he's going to be playing against David Goff next tomorrow.
So I'm guessing a lot more excitement come tomorrow. You'll be on your toes. It would be like you're at Wimbledon or the U.S. Open.
We're praying. We're praying West Ham can do us a favor tomorrow. Praying.
No, they can't. So. Sorry, that prayer won't be answered. You and I will be going away with the same Premier League trophy.
You're not tired of saying that. That sounds still now.
But it's the truth. It's still the truth. No matter how much time you say it, it's still the truth.
All right, Alex, take care.
Okay, you too. Okay, so that was Wayne Walker over there at the Bounty Invitational Tennis Classics in Ocho Rios. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
Winning by daylight and setting a world record, 9.68. The wind is okay.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, KFC. It's finger-licking good across all locations island-wide.
Good health starts with proper hydration. Hydrate your body with Hydrate. Hydrate is purified natural water from rocks 110 feet below the ground. You have never tasted water so great, yet so affordable. Yes, taste and experience it for yourself. Water at its best. Hydrate. Available also as purified alkaline water and ultra-purified distilled water. Bottled by LLNSCS Limited, a subsidiary of Max Pharmaceuticals. Call 876-983-6466.
Step into a world of floral captivity at the Flower Show 2024. presented by the Manchester Horticultural Society. Embrace nature's beauty and the finest greenery at the Flower Show on May 23, 2024, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Ward Avenue, Mandeville. Expect prizes, surprises, and demonstrations. Admission $800 and children under 12 free. Discover the latest trends in flora and beautify your space. The Flower Show 2024. Be there. Sponsored by Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alrix. We'll be working with Sean Ferguson on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some cricket now. We joined Carlton Brown, who has been watching the ISA TVJ Super 8 T20 final between Tackey High and St. Elizabeth Tech at the Sir P Oval in Maypen, Clarendon, where St. Elizabeth Tech, they would have beaten Tackey by 8 wickets. Carlton, good evening and welcome.
Good evening and thank you.
It's my pleasure, man. Carlton, let's jump right in it. Tell us, describe your thoughts on how you think the final went.
Well, it appears that Sets was always in control. Tackey never came out and looked as positive as we usually see them be, having scored only 154 off their 20 overs. It's a very small outfield, and that was always going to be a total to defend, and in the end, Sets got there with over 10 deliveries to spare. The only batsman that really put some pressure on the Sets bowlers was Javert Green. As you know, he would have made 50, and the very next ball after getting to his half century, he was out caught on the mid-wicket boundary. Got a full toss and hit it down the mid-wicket short. The captain, Tariq Bryan, he got 5 wickets for Sets, and as I said, at no time did Sets seem to be under any pressure right throughout the game. They appear to be always in control. When they batted, they lose Brown off the very first delivery of their innings. But after that, Bryan and Binns, who was dropped on North, again on 5, steered the team home. Bryan getting out when victory was in sight. So basically, Sets was never under any pressure in this one.
Right. And tell me what you think caused Tackey to play so below par in the final. Is it that the Sets bowling attack was just that good, or they showed a bit of fatigue after the long season?
Well, the Sets bowling was very, very disciplined. As you know, Sir Peel is a very small ground. So in some way, if you are hitting the ball on the ground, it is easier to defend than on a big ground, because being small, there's not much space. But the Sets bowling, they never gave the Tackey batsmen any leverage to get under the ball to hit it in the air. Because once you hit it in the air, it's going to go over the boundary because it's small. But they bowl a very good line and length. They bowl hard into the pitch. They didn't really pitch up the ball so that the batsman could get under it and hit it straight and far. So it was a very, very disciplined performance. And I just think Tackey was nervous. They looked nervous from ball one. In the very first delivery that was bowled, Green should have been run out. He ended up making 50, but he should have been run out after the first delivery, the third delivery, and 2 overs afterward. He should have been run out again. But poor feeling on the part of the Set fielders why he was able to make 50. But they just looked very nervous. In layman term, you would say that they were gassy.
Right. Tell me, when you look at their performance, would you say that the weight of trying to win their first schoolboy cricket title for the school, they couldn't handle the pressure?
Could be, because even the field, everyone know that Tackey is a brilliant fielding team. They excelled in the field, and that was not the case today. They dropped about 3-4 catches. As I said in the earlier, Bain, who made 70, I think Bain made 71 not out, the same score that he made in the under-16 finals earlier this week to win it for Sets. He come again and he made 71 not out, but he was dropped on north. And he was dropped again at square leg even before he reached 5. And even later in the game, he was dropped on the mid-wicket boundary. So there weren't field. There was a lot of misfield from Taki, quite unusual. There was a ball that played to the fielder at mid-on. Straight to him, he misfielded, and it trickled into the boundary, and he never gave chase. You know, so there were, I think that for an Eastern school, because there's always this stigma attached to the Eastern schools that they don't win anything. I think a few years ago, Titchfield won school challenge. But apart from that, the schools in Eastern Jamaica, they generally don't win anything. And that pressure was definitely on Taki today.
Right. And let's speak a bit on the champions. Your thoughts on their performance?
They came out well planned. You can see that they were well drilled by Carl Wright. They planned, their feeling, their strategy, everything. They were energized. They came for this one because they have never won it before, and they wanted to win it this time. And they came out, they bowled discipline, and once the Taki batsmen were not trying anything unusual, they were always going to get them out for a manageable total because they were well-disciplined, well-drilled, a well-oiled machine. And I'm telling you, they deserve the victory. When they batted, apart from those drop chances, and if Taki had taken those catches, but again, that is if that doesn't place the game. Right. But Binns and Bryan, they were always in control at the crease. You never got the impression that Sets was going to lose. They were just so much in control.
Well, with that said, who would you say was your man of the match?
I would definitely give it to Tariq Bryan because he really wrecked the heart of the Taki batting, and then after Taki batting with his 5 wickets, and when he batted, he and Binns put on that big partnership. I don't quite remember how many he made at this time, but he did. Just let me check this. How many that he made at his Bryan, but he got 5 wickets. He got 5 wickets and he made 30. I think he made 30. I don't quite remember his score, but I think he made 30. But he got also 5 wickets, and he marshaled the team well. He stuck to the tactics that the coach laid out for them, and so I would definitely give it to Bryan. But not by far, though. Binns did play this far.
Right. Finally, tell me your overall thoughts on the finals. What sort of a grade would you give it?
What sort of a grade? The attendance at the Headley Cup final was much bigger than this one. But when it comes to the production and the vibes and the atmosphere, it was also good. I would give it and the field of play, I would give it 7. I would give it just above average. I'll give it 7. And I don't think it was an outstanding final because Taki never really turned up. They never turned up. They tried, but it wasn't an outstanding final. And Sets was always in control, as I said. So I would give it 7. I wouldn't give it much more than that. Maybe a 6.5.
Right. Okay, then, Carlton, thanks much for sharing your thoughts on this. It's a TVJ Super 8 T20 final between Taki High and St. Elizabeth, where St. Elizabeth Technical came away 8-wicket winners. Okay, so that was Carlton Brown of a Cricket Forum. We continue with the show as we'll be talking some Olympics now, as a major security perimeter along the River Seine will be set 8 days before the Paris 2024 Olympics opening ceremony. The city's police chief said on Thursday the French capital is expected to face major disruption. France 24 shares the details.
Today that the French capital is going to face major disruption in the run-up to the start of the Olympics. Well, the opening ceremony is going to be held along the River Seine on the 26th of July. It's going to involve 160 boats carrying athletes from all around the world on a 6-kilometre long route towards the Eiffel Tower. But this opening ceremony is proving to be a security headache, and it's taking place against the backdrop of wars in Ukraine and Gaza. France 24's Selena Sykes filed this report for us.
An unprecedented security operation for an unprecedented opening ceremony.
With 92 days to go, our goal for the opening ceremony is still the same: to put on an unprecedented show that will be watched by 220,000 people on the upper banks and 100,000 people on the lower banks of the Seine. A ceremony running over a 6-kilometer course that's never been seen before.
Paris 2024 organisers wanted to make a splash when promising to open the Olympics with a spectacle along the River Seine, in what would be the first opening ceremony to take place outside of a stadium in the history of the Games. But their big ambitions are causing jitters in a city that knows firsthand the threat of terrorism. French authorities unveiled on Thursday more detailed security plans for the 26th of July. Around 20,000 people who live and work along the Seine will be the most affected.
Everyone who wants to enter will be systematically investigated and will need authorization from the police.
A security zone around the Seine will be in place from the 18th of July, 8 days before the opening ceremony. During that period, security measures will effectively cut Paris into two, warned the head of Paris police. Security checks of properties overlooking the Seine, the closure of metros and roads to traffic, as well as stop and searches of individuals and vehicles, are just some of the other precautions, all with the aim of pulling off an Olympic ceremony like no other.
Well, for more analysis, we can speak now to Mathieu Radzojski, who is a researcher at the University of Versailles and an expert on security issues. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it really looks like this opening ceremony is the main cause for concern at this stage from a security point of view. Why is that, do you think?
Good evening. Well, obviously, it's an unprecedented event, and the size of it is unprecedented. And also the amount of people expected along the river is unprecedented. Well, first, it was announced that there would be 500,000 people along the river, along that 6-kilometer strip for the ceremony. Now it's been reduced to a little over 300,000, but that's a massive amount of people. And the complicated issue with this is that Paris is a very dense city. Traffic is difficult there. So whenever you need to bring, if you need to bring a security squad or a rescue squad along the river, it's very hard to do it through the roads. So you'll have to use the river in case, anything happens. And basically on that day, there will be 45,000 police officers mobilized for the event, which is probably the largest concentration of police, of law enforcement agents in one spot in the history of France.
I mean, we've had some officials sort of floating this idea of a plan B for the opening ceremony, something perhaps a little bit more contained, a little bit less ambitious. I mean, do you think there is a real danger that that opening ceremony could be cancelled?
Yes, actually, President Macron mentioned a plan B and even a plan C in an interview a few days ago. And of course, if the security risk is high, if there's information intelligence basically indicating that there's an imminent threat, there is a risk that they move the ceremony to a safer location and to a location that is easier to control. Well, right now it's impossible to say how high is that risk. What is the possibility of this happening? But nevertheless, the French authorities have definitely that in mind.
I mean, they can't anticipate every single risk there is, but how well prepared would you say the French police and the other security services are in this country for the Olympics?
Well, there's a lot to say about that. Well, first of all, France is used to organizing big events. There was the Rugby World Cup last year. There was the Euro in football in 2016, and I could list many other events. So it's nothing new here. Nevertheless, risks are high. The event is unprecedented. There might be shortages of private security because it's important to mention that approximately 17,000 private security agents will be mobilized for the event, and there are apparently recruitment problems. So it's very hard to answer 3 months ahead. Authorities are reassuring people, saying everything will be ready, but there are slight alarms here and there about that event.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of additional measures, I mean, some countries, notably Greece, today offered some assistance with policing the event. Do you think that's the sort of thing we might see more of, for kind of global events happening in Europe, a kind of pooling of resources, a pooling of police services? Because I can imagine that being very helpful on the one hand, but on the other hand, I can also imagine it causing a lot of confusion, language barriers, and therefore creating perhaps more work than if they hadn't come in the first place.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good question. Greece announced that. Poland announced a few weeks ago that it would provide, military forces, military agents for the event. So, yes, helping each other seems to be a rational answer and a rational solution. We're not talking about dozens of thousands of people, obviously. That's a few hundred here and there. And like you said, there's the language barrier. Basically, from what we know, those additional foreign officers will be used for other activities that don't involve being in contact with the public. Like, for instance, sniffing dogs for, prevention of explosives, things like that. So that's probably something useful. And once again, let's not forget that this is happening during the summer. There will be 45,000 police officers mobilized for the ceremony, 30,000 for the other days, while other things will be going on, especially people going on vacation across the country, being on the roads, and burglary still happening and drug trafficking still happening. So it's not like everything will be on pause.
Okay, so that was a report from France 24 as it relates to security details for the Paris Olympics. Now, President of Jamaica Olympic Association, GOA, Christopher Samuda, says the attempted assassination of Prime Minister of Slovak, Robert Fico, has served to further raise security alerts for the government of France and the organizers of the Paris Games.
The attempted assassination of the Slovakian Prime Minister, in a world marked by violence and turmoil, political and otherwise, will raise inevitable security alerts for the government of France and the organizers of the Olympic Games, as heads of states and governments are expected to attend the Games and will be, in keeping with protocols, in the care and custody of French authorities. Threats to security always pose a reputational and fatal risk, and sporting events are not immune. And I suspect that with the assassination attempt, the French authorities are more than before on high alert, and intelligence gathering using technology at its best must be at fever pitch. The GOA has always treated the security of our delegations as primary, and current events reinforce for us the imperative of monitoring movement and establishing parameters, the need for an efficient communication system, spatial intelligence, and critically taking responsibility for your own safety.
Okay, so that was Christopher Samuda, president of the Jamaica Olympics Association. Now, that's all the time we have for you today. Let me see a special thanks to Wayne Walker, Winston Nevers, Carlton Brown, Gianna Briscoe, and Wayne Long. Those are the persons that helped to make this show this evening a success. Let me, on behalf of myself and my technical operator, Sean Ferguson, just want to wish you all a God-blessed night. And as usual, I hope that you'll be in church on Sunday. If you don't have a church to worship, you're welcome to worship with us at Tower Hill Missionary Church, 159 Olympic Way. We ask you to continue to listen to Nationwide 90 FM. Our coverage continue with the Women's Center Charity Ball at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel with Pepita. Good night. God bless.
This outstanding 6'4" athlete credits Jamaica with her first Olympic victory ever.
Jamaica is filled with Olympians.
World record holder McKinley dashes into the lead.
We must never forget the forerunners of Jamaican Olympic greatness.
Coming into the home stretch, it's Wint who challenges the leader.
Win or lose, athletes never forget their Olympic experience.
Melly Notti has devastated another world-class field. And Hemmings is going to do it. Hemmings wins it. She's the champion. A personal
win or lose, Jamaicans will cheer the loudest at the Olympics so that the world will never forget who we are.
And Usain Bolt is moving away, and Jamaica retain their title, and the world record has been taken apart. Oh, I say!
From July 26 to August 11, tune in only to Nationwide 90 FM for the coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, because we're here to ensure that you never forget. Nationwide's coverage is powered by our bronze sponsors: National Road Operating and Construction Company Limited, Digicel,